Hope for the Future exists to help people like you engage your MP on climate change, because we believe that contacting your MP is the single most important thing you can do in tackling climate change. And we believe in collaboration, common ground and relationship building with your MP to see really tangible and concrete action in Parliament. So your MP has to know little about so many different things. So if you think about all the different things that happen in Parliament, whether it be the NHS or road building or aviation or tax, and bringing climate change to your MP's agenda is really important, because without us taking these things to our MP's table, there's no way of them knowing about these things and how much they matter to you as a local constituent. And if you think your MP is working, day to day in Parliament, they're quite removed from their constituency in many cases. So if you can make your case for why climate action is important locally, at the local level, how's it impacting you as a person? Tell them your story and how it's really important to be engaging your MP. So at Hope for the Future, we believe the first step in this process is research. Research is so important to understand your MP as a person, what they're interested politically, what their background is. Do they have a background in, finance or transport? Where can you find that common ground with your MP? And Hope for the Future can help you do all of that research, or we can help you to understand how to do that research yourself. And it can be really simple, things like looking at a website called theyworkforyou.com, and you can see your MP's voting record, what they've been saying in Parliament, what they've been engaging on in debates. So it's a specific issue where you can, find that common ground with your MP and build that really effective relationship to see some collaboration. And then once you've done all of this research into your MP, you might choose to write to them and ask for a meeting. And at Hope for the Future, we believe that a meeting is a really effective way to engage your MP, because you're opening up that dialogue and that collaboration, and you can have that two-way conversation with your MP. And a letter's fantastic, but and you can see some really great action out of a letter. And what we'd say is develop a specific ask. So, as I was saying, MPs are generalists, they're the GPs of the politics world, they have to know so much. So by giving them an ask which is clear, it's smart, so it's specific, realistic, measurable, achievable and timely, you give them the opportunity to go away and do something on your behalf. So how can you make that ask really specific to the local area, and how can you see that action on a national scale as well? So recently we were contacted by a constituent group in Mary Rimmer's constituency. Now she's the Labour MP for St Helens and Whiston, so just over in Liverpool. And the constituent group did all this research into Mary with the help from Hope for the Future. And what they found is that she'd never really spoken on climate change before, but what she was really passionate about was social justice and tackling poverty. So they met with Mary, and Mary was really open about the fact that she knew nothing about climate change. She was like, I'm laying my cards on the table here, I know nothing at all. So the group, they educated Mary and they spoke to her about how it was affecting them locally, and they found common ground with Mary on the issue of fuel poverty, because she had that social justice passion in her background. And in the Northwest, we have the highest rates of fuel poverty in the whole of England, so it's a really great way of spurring Mary into action. And they met with her a few times, and she took local action on a local nature reserve and pushing for that in the local plan. And then she took more national action, so started talking in Parliament about fuel poverty and the Green Homes Grant. And then the group were having such great progress with Mary that they decided to bring more of the community into the conversation. So we arranged an event on fuel poverty, and we invited the neighbouring MP as well, Conor McGinn. And it was a fantastic event, and it really opened Mary's eyes to all the action that can be taken really locally, and it's not just something that's really distant in Parliament, and that there is so many things that the local council can be doing, for example, on tackling fuel poverty. And we allowed Mary to make the link between poverty, social justice and climate change, because if we retrofit people's homes and lift them out of poverty, we're also reducing emissions, and that link was never there for Mary before. So just having that conversation and then opening the dialogue and creating that trust between Mary was really effective. And probably the most exciting thing about that story is Mary actually rang the constituents about a year after their first meeting saying, I want to talk to you about climate change. So seeing that shift in an MP who was very open in not knowing what climate change was or how she could tackle it, to putting a face to the issue of climate change by bringing the constituents to her door was really effective. So Hope for the Future has a local council team. So if you wanted to meet your local council, or you had no idea where to start in researching your local council, we can help you, and we offer training workshops in effective council engagement as well.